SHIZUKU, originally released in 1996 by Leaf for the PC-98, is one of the first games to be referred to as a visual novel. The game is the origin of the denpa visual novel genre due to the plot being centered around madness and radio waves. The game's story was heavily inspired by the book Shinko Shukyo Morekyo by the influential musician Otsuki Kenji. The version I have is a later version released a few months later for Windows PCs, however all gameplay is from the PC-98 version. In 2004, Leaf would update the graphics and release the game for newer computers, but I mean... Inside the box is a disc and manual which includes some art and a small comic page. And I mean, look how badass she looks. Booting into the game, you are met with the choice of choosing MIDI sound, FM sound, or no sound. We choose MIDI and Leaf's logo appears and a short opening starts. This is Mizuho. She is the innocent girl who can assist you in the investigation. This is Saori. She's a happy-go-lucky girl who can assist you in the investigation as well. This is Ruriko. She has a mysterious power. You then get sent to the title screen and you can start the game, but if you press the keys O, R, and I at the same time, which is pretty awkward to do with one hand, and enter the music room, you get a sound test and can play every song in the game. Ori stands for Ori Bass, who helped with music for the game, but I digress. You start the game and the main character Yusuke is messing with the mechanical pencil for way too long and drawing strange things in his notebook, talking about the end of the world and indulging in his deep, dark fantasies of madness. Then out of nowhere, some chick from class starts a scene. Her name is Ota, who is a member of the student council. She won't stop manically laughing and all of a sudden starts begging for some... And I mean, she like really gets into it. She soon starts scratching her own face with her nails and is then finally forced outside of the room, just like high school. 3 days pass and you learn that up until that day, she was perfectly normal. But the incident quickly gets around the school, and rumors start going around that she may have been off a drug bender or that her boyfriend may have cheated on her. It then becomes a taboo subject and the true cause remains a mystery. Yusuke develops a curiosity about the incident and is called into the staff room by his uncle, who works as a teacher at the same school after class to have a talk. He asks you to go up to the roof and starts to break down the situation to you. He starts talking about potential causes for the incident. Her mother reported she started going out late at night 2 weeks prior to the incident. Checking her diary, he says she was going to the school and that there was likely a group of people with her and a strange man. So the obvious thing to do is to send you alone and check it out at night, right? He mentions that a girl named Saori Shinjo might have information related to the case and gives you a door code of 0824 to enter the school at night. If you don't agree to investigate the case, you go about life as normal until your graduation ceremony starts. While this is happening, everyone in the room starts to feel off, and a feeling of electricity begins to flow through you. You feel like you're being controlled by someone and then, well... Anyways, if you agree, class ends and Yusuke starts its investigation immediately after school. Initially the idea was that Ota and other students were sneaking out to the school at night to, party. Yeah, let's put it that way. After some deliberating, he concludes that he will have to investigate the school tonight to see if he can see this for himself. But first, he decides to gather information while after-school activities are happening. The main two people Yusuke wants to talk to is Mizuho Aihara and Saori Shinjo. Mizuho is a secretary of the student council and close friends with Ota. Saori, a member of the girls' volleyball team, spotted suspicious activity in the school at night. Immediately after walking outside of the classroom, he finds Saori. She tells him what she saw the previous night after staying a while after practice. She spotted 3 suspicious girls outside. After some speculation about them potentially being ghosts, Saori asks if she can be a part of the investigation. F it, why not? You make a plan to meet her during volleyball practice and return to the classroom and find Mizuho. Yusuke explains that the student council is a fairly secretive group and that few of the students at the school actually know what they do. As he's about to enter the student council room, he bumps into this guy, Tsukishima, the previous council president. The encounter is short and he walks away. In the council room, Yusuke meets Mizuho. He walks in on them discussing getting flowers for Ota, who's in the hospital. He asks Mizuho if they can talk about something and they step outside to the courtyard. She strongly wants to help with the investigation as she is greatly concerned about her friend. She reveals she knew about Ota leaving at night, but didn't know what she was doing at night. She seems to feel guilty and emotionally distraught from the incident, but she shows a great interest in helping with the investigation and likely would be a good addition due to her friendship with Ota, but we're already going with Saori. Yusuke heads to the gymnasium to meet with Saori. He lets her in on all the information that he has received from his uncle about the diary and what Ota might be doing inside the school. Saori then goes back to the gym and Yusuke goes to inform his uncle. Meet.
6.5 hours later.
And then Yusuke gives in to helplessness. Oh, you're back. You missed the investigation. You also missed Saori impale herself with scissors and... Yeah, it turns out that guy who you bumped into earlier, yeah, he can control people's minds with electric waves and force a group of girls at the school to do things against their will, and Ota escaped from the hospital, and... Anyways, if we reel the tape back and you make smarter choices earlier in the story, you meet Ruriko, who is Tsukishima's sister. She tells you about the radio waves. She can absorb them and this is very important later. After uncovering Tsukishima-san's sex addiction, things seem bleak and he takes control of you and Saori's body with the radio waves and will likely kill both of you. However, you start to regain control and can see Ruriko in the distance. Tsukishima seems shocked shocked by her appearance. Tsukishima's control over Saori weakens, and she stops trying to stab herself with scissors. Tsukishima starts babbling about Ruriko and falls to his knees, and you reunite with Saori. Ruriko consoles Tsukishima, and you and Saori leave the school. The next day, no one believes the story about the radio waves, and the entire event is written off as mass delusion, and then it's a happy ending, sunshine and rainbows, woo! After you beat the game, Saori tells you that you can skip through parts of the game using the shift key, and that you should go back to see new choices that may appear. The more times you beat the game, she will give you hints about how to get other endings, like the true ending, and I mean, she really gives you some hints. I mean, she's pretty much telling you exactly what to do. If you take Mizuho's route, after almost being defeated by Tsukishima, you use the power of Mizuho's music box she obtained from her father a few weeks before his death that she showed you during the investigation to snap Ota out of her mind-controlled state. Mizuho explains that the music box also represents her friendship with Ota, as Ota helped Mizuho get the box back from school bullies in middle school. Ota then whacks Tsukishima on the head with a fire extinguisher, incapacitating him and giving him brain damage. Everyone snaps out of the state they are in, and life goes back to normal. A similar thing happens the last time in that no one believes the story about the radio waves, and you live happily ever after. If you don't go on the investigation with either girl, you fall into Ruriko's route. You wander around the school for a bit looking for her to get a taste of madness, and you find her on the rooftop. You can make the mistake of lying about receiving her message on the roof when you actually didn't, which leads to unintentionally calling her crazy for her powers, and she hits you with a "you're just like everyone else," and then you lose later. That's relatable. Alternatively, if you tell her the truth and say you didn't receive any telepathic message and that you just showed up on a whim, she embraces you with her power, and in this dream state, you see her on her knees crying, and we see the name of the game Shizuku is referring to tears falling. After you wake up from this state, it's nighttime and you ask her why you saw this, but she doesn't give a straight answer. They both obtain a deeper connection and agree to help each other. After the investigation, similar events happen again and Ruriko appears to confront Tsukishima, and like before, he begins to lose his composure. This time, however, we have more of a direct connection with Ruriko, so they both run away from the room. Once they are in the gymnasium, they form a deeper connection, and you see into Ruriko's mind again. This time you start to see Ruriko's memories of her life, and you see how throughout traumatic events in her life, her brother was the only one she opened up to, and she became closed off to others. However, her brother would end up taking advantage of her. After building a deeper connection with Ruriko, you obtain the powers of the radio waves. You engage in battle with Tsukishima and overpower him. You enter his mind similar to Ruriko, and you begin to witness Tsukishima as a child crying. He's lamenting about not wanting to be alone, and he doesn't know where Ruriko went. You confront him on his actions, and his physical form is left as a husk. He is still alive, but essentially a vegetable. The next day, school continues as usual, and the text from the beginning of the game repeats. However, Yusuke says he used his power to wipe the memories of the girls who were being used by Tsukishima so they wouldn't have to relive those memories. However, Ruriko and Tsukishima are gone. Yusuke took both of them home after the incident, and as he is leaving, Ruriko thanks him and kisses him. However, Ruriko would never return to school. It turns out Ruriko is at the hospital with her brother, also in a vegetative state. Yusuke sees into their mind, and the siblings are reunited together in the spiritual world. Yusuke thinks he hears Ruriko say that she's sorry for this, but that she loves him. Yusuke then leaves. At school, Yusuke returns to the rooftop where he met Ruriko and reminisces, and the game ends. After this ending, if you return back to Tsukishima's mind, a choice now appears and you can forgive Tsukishima for his actions. Instead of remaining a vegetable, he regains consciousness and Ruriko goes back to comfort him. This time when Yusuke goes to the roof at the school, Ruriko is there to meet him, and the game ends. The credits roll, and we see this splash screen towards the end that reads, "Special thanks Ken Ken." It turns out Ken Ken, or Ken 2, helped debug the game, but got an entire screen to himself in the credits. Shout out Bowls of Lentils for that one. After the main story is completed, you gain 2 extra side stories from different choices that appear at the start of the game. One is a short alternative intro where you fantasize about a life together with Ota, and she ends it by jumping off the school rooftop, which, I mean, jeez. The other is a bonus fun meta story about fighting the developers of the game as multi-dimensional beings. This is where you learn about the Ori base trick at the start of the video. With the girls, you slowly go through all the Leaf staff and you have to choose the correct move for each fight to move on to the next one. The way to defeat Ori base, the musician, is to throw money at them, which distracts them. Then Saori uses her special move and defeats him. Before he fades away, he tells you the trick to access the sound test room. After Shizuku, Leaf would release their next game not very long after, called Kizu. Alright, if you enjoyed that video, check out this video about Orion. Pretty similar. And yeah, peace out.